Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Sunday Interview. My guest today was born into royalty decades ago. She holds prestigious titles in both Lagos and Egbaland. She is a business mogul, a culture ambassador, and also a fashion icon. You will be meeting my guest after this time out. I am Azizat Olaoluwa. Stay with us. I will be right back. Welcome back. My guest today depicts royalty. She's the Erelu of Lagos and also the Erelu of Egbaland. I am talking about Her Royal Highness Erelu Abiola Dosunmu. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Pleasure.
Now, at 70 years old, you still look so resplendent. How do you achieve your beauty?
Grace of God. Because if I know the secret, I shall be one of the richest people in the world, because I shall bottle the secret and sell it.
True.
But it's the grace of God, really.
So how was growing up like for you?
Looking back now, I think growing up was the most beautiful time of my life, you know. Lagos was younger, was cleaner, was kinder. You had a lot of comradeship. You had a lot of support, genuine support from everyone around you. I mean, you know, if anyone chastised a child at that point in time, the parents will probably even thank you. Now, of course, they get very offended. If you had an accident, a whole load of people will be there within seconds to help you to get up or to offer some sort of support. Nowadays, they just walk away. And if you ask them to help, they're going to ask you, how much are you going to pay me to do that for you? You know, it is very traumatic for some of us who knew the world, or Nigeria and Lagos, to be a gentle, softer, kinder place compared to what one is experiencing now. And if you give somebody a job, by a job, you're a king, because you're giving them a livelihood, and they will do it to the best of their abilities. Nowadays, half of the time, if they can get away with actually doing the work and just collecting the money, they are ready. No conscience. We are beginning to consider something wrong to be the right way to be. It's so sad.
All right,
You
tell
know?
us about your parents.
Oh, my parents. My parents were, I'm sure like all children, were very special people to me. My mother, she was just an epitome of a lady. Till she died, she was still beautiful, and she would still carry herself properly. And
So you got your beauty from her?
well, maybe, because really, till she died, she was, if I remember, one of the wives of the house, you know, when we were at the hospital when she was ill, just before she died, I said, wow, look at her, because we were changing her clothes. He said, wow, look at Auntie, and she's going to be so beautiful till she died, you know. I don't know, grace of God, really. So she was at one point a teacher, a nurse, of course a mother, a housewife, but she did everything diligently with such ease and gentility. My mother was a very gentle, very calm, elegant woman. And of course, maybe because she had a very strong mother who was a very great entrepreneur and achieved greatly and added value to lives of a lot of people. And of course, my father was what you would call a banker and a gentleman. He was one of the pioneer staff of Bank of West Africa that later became First Bank. And he was a perfect gentleman. He was a prince, a gentleman, and a banker. And I think that says it all.
All right. Give us a quick glimpse into your academic background.
Well, I started school, actually, you know, my parents, as I said, was in Bank of West Africa, and he was transferred to Kano. And I think I started nursery school in Kano. And no matter what, by the age of 5, 6, my father sent us back to Lagos to start school. So I started school in Kano. Then I went to Anglican Girls' School in Lagos. Then I went to Kano, St. Louis College in Bompai, Kano for my secondary school. Then went to St. Teresa's College in Ibadan for my A-level. Before I went abroad to study business and administration and so many other things, including sculpturing in London School of Chelsea London College of Art.
Were you an adventurous child growing up? Did you get into trouble along the way?
Adventurous, no, but ambitious. I'm not one that wants to sit down. I just want to do things. I want to achieve. Whatever I did, I put my best foot forward. And definitely one thing that I think I still exhibit such traits. I'm a supporter of the downtrodden. Right from childhood throughout college. If anybody is being victimized in college, you can be sure I'm there behind her and giving her support. I think I'm a champion of the downtrodden. And I'm still doing that. Right now, what I'm championing now are the disadvantaged indigenous peoples of Lagos State.
So how are you going about that?
Well, that should be a topic for another day.
Okay.
When I'm ready to when we have the time, then we'll talk fully about that project.
Talk to us about your marriage and your children.
Marriage. It's been bittersweet. Bittersweet. But I think I've packed a lot of joy and satisfaction even into the short-lived marriages, much more than anyone. A whole lifetime experience that even if I stayed in one marriage for a whole lifetime, I don't think I would have even packed as much as I have in the times. You know, my first husband, he died within about 3 years, motor accident of marriage. It left me with 2 little boys, you know. But one way or the other, we survived it. And they're brilliant. They had amazing, best education possible. And they are doing well in their own area of, their own professional areas. And then, of course, the second one was the real experience in marriage. It lasted almost 20 years.
You're married to whom?
To Fernandez.
The second marriage?
Yes, that's the second marriage. And that was the real experience in marriage. In 3 years, you are still friends, you're still my brother, I'm still his sister. You know, within 3 years, you don't realize you're married. You still think your brother is your husband and your friend. But when you've done it 10 years, 20 years, then you've had a real good experience of marriage. And I was lucky. I was married to somebody who cared a lot for my comfort, my joy. We had a good rapport, a good comradeship. And like I always say, maybe I was too young to actually appreciate what I had and allowed it to slip through my fingers.
How?
Well, you know, like I said, I'm a supporter of the downtrodden, so I never like to castigate anyone. But I'm sure it takes 2 to tango. So when you have a broken marriage, it couldn't have been just one person, it's 2. But it was full of life, it was full of activities. We worked together, we traversed the world together, we did great things. We worked in the oil industry, real estate, in different parts of the world. And so it was a wonderful, fulfilled life. And when it ended, well, you know, it's one of those things.
How many kids do you have in all? And where are they?
I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. And one of them lives with me here, and the other 3 are in the UK. Well, okay, 2 are in the UK. 1 commutes between here and there because his children are there at school and his wife works there.
So your grandmother?
So, many times over. Didn't you, weren't you at my birthday? I have my grandson. My first grandson is graduating in the university this summer. So,
What is your favorite meal?
everyone teases me about it. I think I must have talked about it several times. My favorite meal is amala, ewedu,
Really?
and
I was
chicken
expecting you to
stew.
say a salad.
I love salad. I eat a lot of it. But my real favorite food, if it's cooked the way my grandmother used to cook it, ewedu, amala, and chicken stew, easily my favorite.
Do you drink?
Yes, now and then, you know, a glass of champagne and other, but I'm not one for heavy alcohol. Definitely not spirit.
Are you still a social person? Do you still go out to events like before? Because you were a showstopper when you were younger.
But you know, that outing you are referring to, most of it was part of my work as Erelu. That I had to attend events and functions and all that, you know, because I'm Erelu of Lagos. And I still get to go to some of those things now. But I've always been an outgoing person. And I think as long as I have health, I will always go out.
Do you listen to music?
Oh, I love music. Music is my food. Without music, I don't think I can survive. I think what music does for me is helps me to forget anything that disturbs me. No matter what it is, once I put in and I love all kinds of music, from classic to juju to any kind of music that has rhythm.
You don't have any favorite?
I think any music that has rhythm will move me, and I would love it. A lot of the music these days is a whole lot of noise. I can't stand them.
Oh. So you don't listen to the new
stuff? Oh, no. Some of them are beautiful. Ooh, some of them like, I can't think of one now. But you have a whole lot of lovely ones that are around now. But you also have those that are just bang, bang, bang.
True.
You know. But once you have music and it has rhythm,
what song comes to mind right now that you can sing for us?
What is this one that I like now? Later.
Okay, I'll remind you. Okay, where would be your...
The Tiwa Savage, the one that she's shaking and all
Can
that.
I get it up?
No, very popular one. We share. In the video, you have old people dancing to it, young people dancing to it.
At a party?
Her video for the launch of her music. And of course, you know, Joshino is it's an evergreen. And of course, I'm just trying not to say Sonny Ade. But
why
you know,
not?
because the public says she's biased because he works the beautiful record in my honor. Surely you must have heard about Erelu, the song of Erelu. Bibi Rekoshe Fowora.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He works that for me when I became Erelu of Egbalad, actually.
Yes, I remember.
He works that for me when I became Erelu of Egbalad, and of course he told me that just one rehearsal, it was a hit. And you know, all that time, over 20 years ago, he still sings this at every event. No event is complete without Bibi Re. If Sonny goes to a party and didn't sing it, I don't think that party is it.
It was quite popular, yes.
And it's still really very popular.
Indeed, indeed. How did you become the Erelu Kuti Fourth of Lagos?
Well, you know, like all Yoruba royal titles, I mean, you know, it used to be from father to son, or would expect from mother to daughter. But you know, it has become the survival of the fittest, as long as you are a prince or a princess of that royal dynasty. And I have always been very interested in the tradition, especially at the time where once you are educated and you've been abroad, you distance yourself from culture because you think, oh, it's fetish or it's beneath you. But I have always loved it. Maybe because I've lived abroad a lot. But for me, my culture, it's something very important. It's my identity. Whenever I am in any high society, anywhere in the world, I need to differentiate myself. Because once I ape them, then I'm second class. But if I go out, if I entertain with my food, I go to such gatherings in my own attire, I draw attention. People want to know more. And I feel my own person. Then the whole family, you know, you have the different branches. It's not the prerogative of one person, but the different branches, they felt this position needs to be filled by this woman. And it was a unanimous decision that, you know. And at that time, when I was also made the Erelu of Lagos, my husband, late Chief Fernandez, was also given a chieftaincy title as the Bajiri of Lagos. You know.
Okay. So that same question again. I'll just rephrase it. How
Yes.
did you become the Erelu of Egbaland? You again.
Well, the Erelu of Egbaland title is a royal title also. And you know, my mother is from the royal house in Egba Alake of Irunwon, Egba Alake in Egba land. And when it was, you know, we used to have Obaship there. Now everybody, and the Alake is now the overall head of that place. And so whenever you want to honor anybody in there, it was my mother's family side. And I was given the title. So I was, and then to do that, you have to be given a title in your own territory, your own mother's skin. And I was made the Olori Erelu, Olori Gbogbo Erelu of Irunwon. And then from there, it becomes the Olori Erelu Gbogbo Egba.
I still have some more questions for you, but we need to go on a short break at this time. My guest has been the Erelu of Egba and Lagos, Her Royal Highness, Erelu Abiola Dosunmu. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Glad to have you back. I've been speaking with Erelu of Egbaland and Erelu of Lagos. I'm talking about Erelu Abiola Dosunmu, Her Royal Highness herself. Thank you for staying with us on the show.
Pleasure.
All right, let me just ask you before we move on. The symbolism of your white attire almost every time.
I knew you were going to say that. But I've answered that so many times. I just love the color white. And of course, the first Erelu Kuti first of Lagos, I was told she wore white on daily basis, but on special occasion, she will wear the grandest attire, regardless of what color it is. And so, apart from the fact that I also like that color from childhood, so it just slotted into position. And I enjoy it, and I love to wear it.
Doesn't it get boring wearing
No,
white?
really, because I'm so used to it. And, well, you know, I had a shop. You know, I've had a stint in the fashion industry also.
Sure.
I had a shop in London, in Broad Street, and I design. So, you know, I have all kinds of designs in my head. And if I design them only in white, that's okay. But as long as you have variety, the color maybe initially was difficult, considering that I used to have all sort of amazing clothes. But with time, as long as I can vary the designs, you know, which I do. So white is just a wonderful color.
Tell us about your closeness to former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
You see, the former President Obasanjo is my cousin. We are from the same compound in Olushomi, in Abeokuta, in Owu. Yes, the mother of Oba Kitoye is from that same compound, and we are relations. And you know, we are a very close family knit. We have family meetings regularly. And at one point, even before he even went to jail or after we used to have, if we didn't have meetings at the Oba of Lagos Palace, we would have it in my home, in VI then, before in VI, or we have it in Abeokuta with him. And that's how we used to rotate our meetings. So we became very close. And of course, when he was head of state, I was already in the oil industry. I was already very much within the system and the diplomatic and in fact, even before he became head of state, in fact, someone like General Abdul Salami, He treats me with utmost courtesy because I used to give them diplomatic informations and news and all that. So I was within the system. And when he came automatically and also a brother, I was even able to play a bigger role in that area. And I gave him a few proposals of projects that should be embarked on, which he accepted, which he sent to different ministries, so, and some of them worked well, some of them, so it's a relationship with great mutual respect for the capabilities of one another, but like I always say, when you see a man and a woman so friendly in this country, rather than also see another aspect of it, you just relegate it to something pedestrian and inconsequential. What's more important is the value added to the lives of each other. Otherwise, how else would you also want to celebrate my birthday for me if it was just something frivolous?
Okay, moving around, seeing so many sculptures here, would it be safe to say that you're an art collector? Oh,
yes, definitely. I'm an art collector. I collect a lot of paintings, sculptures. Don't forget, I told you I'm also a sculptor, professional sculptor. And I also paint. Yes, I love the art. To me, art is, they're objects of beauty. And anything beautiful, I will subscribe to it. And of course, my garden, I love greenery and all that. Because also I also work in the area of the environment. In fact, I'm one of Lagos State's environmental ambassador. And I've been going to the Earth Summit, Environmental Earth Summit, from the inception. Yes, I'm an art collector.
All right. And what would you say was the saddest moment of your life?
It has to be, of course, when I lost my first husband. And not because I actually lost a husband, but that a mother could lose a son at the age of 29. A man that was full of life, handsome, full of vigor, friends to everybody, old and young, vibrant, vivacious, at the peak of his profession, for that age. And then for a mother to lose such a son, I think my pain was more for that mother that lost an illustrious son like that. And it still remains a deep sore in my being till tomorrow.
And when was your happiest moment?
Happiest moment? It's difficult to pinpoint. I've had many happy moments.
If you could tell us some
in my life, my children, my grandchildren, my first grandson, my children graduating from college, my children at first sitting, despite the fact that I was almost practically father, mother, they didn't give me any headache. They didn't fall by the wayside. They just behaved well, and they are still doing well. So my joy has always been continuous, because I believe that I've enjoyed a tremendous grace of God. So I am constantly happy. Even when I'm pained or I'm sad, I told you, put on my music, and it doesn't even have to be religious, just music that has rhythm. It takes away, it quickly brings back to me the grace of God that I enjoy. And I say to myself, so what's your problem? So you see, I tend to forgive and forget. I don't harbor animosity for anyone. I don't have the time.
Now, we know you are well-traveled, and
Yes.
of course, we all know that. But where would you say is your favorite holiday destination?
Many, but I will still, one place that will always come readily to mind would be Paris.
Wow.
I just love, I don't know. You know, once I land in Paris and that drive from the airport to my hotel, usually either I stayed at the Creon or the Bristol Hotel, that drive just gives me, uplifts me and gives me a lot of joy because those buildings are so beautiful. You see a whole lot of beautiful scenery and I'm transported into a totally different world. And I just love it and I enjoy it. But if you say where would I prefer to go regularly, I'll probably tell you Monaco or Nice or still in France. But that's the place where, you know, Paris I would love to go to be uplifted. But if I want to stay longer for a holiday, I'd rather go to south of France.
How do you relax?
How do I relax? A lot of music, and if possible, dancing. Sometimes I would dance alone in my room, you know, just to listen. You know, when you hear beautiful music, it moves you, and sometimes you want to get up and do it. So what I can't do in front of camera, I do it in my room. And of course, I read a lot.
Okay.
You know, I used to play the piano. I don't do that much anymore, and the violin. And when I'm on holidays, of course, I go out with the kids, we go to swim, we go ice skating, we do all sort of things. I think I just love being with my grandchildren.
So earlier you promised to sing. We are back at that point.
You didn't tell me this Tiwa Savage song. What is this song? It's very, very rhythmatic, you know.
No idea right now.
Which of her songs do you know?
Kele Kele Love. I mentioned
No.
Kele Kele.
The one that is so nice and so popular.
She has so many nice songs, actually.
Yes, you mean nobody can. Okay, well, all right. Then Dr. Seed, champagne.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah, you say you love champagne.
Well, yes, but you know that song is also very nice. And then of course you have all those ones, so you call Ladani, you know. And I like what they're doing now. So a lot of our children who do not speak our dialect or our local languages, at least now from these songs they are learning. I can see from my own grandchildren, they, you know, they pick up these words, and if they don't know the meaning, I ask them and I explain it to them, and so they are interested. And that's where they are also learning their own languages. So which is good.
Absolutely. Now,
yes.
Finally, how do you want to be remembered?
Somebody who came to this world, tried to do the best she could with the fear of God and love of her neighbor. Because you can only do your best, you can't do more than that. But if you do your best with the fear of God and consideration for others, then I think I will feel satisfied that I've done well.
All right. Thank you very much, Your
Passing through this beautiful world, you know.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Your Royal Highness, for your time on the show today.
Pleasure.
My guest was the Royal Highness Erelu of Egbaland and Erelu of Lagos. I'm talking about Erelu Abiola Dosunmu. If you have questions or inquiries, send all of them to the Sunday interview at tvcnews.tv. Until I come your way next week, thank you for watching. I am Azizat Olaoluwa. Bye for now.